everybody, this is Noreen from joyacards.com and welcome to my video. Yay! Anyway, I am doing paper pumpkin alternatives today. Yay! Stampin' Up! And this is the March 10 years of growth. So it's their anniversary box. And here's what the cards look like. But let's see what you get in the kit. So first of all, you get these beautiful envelopes with that same pattern on them. They're all the same. Now, I might use some of that in my alternatives. If not, then I won't be cutting up the envelopes. And I'm telling you that because I sell my used paper pumpkin kits. I put them in the nice case. I have the insert, and I'll show you that when I come back. But I sell them, so you might not get all the envelopes, but you get whatever I didn't use. The card bases, you get this stained glass window. You get the polka dots, and you get 3 of each, and then this bookcase. And then the stamps, you get not only this set of stamps, which has Happy Spring Easter Anniversary to call you a friend and a pot and some plant stuff, but you get a bonus one because it's their anniversary thing, and it send all our love to an incredible woman. Here's to a year of growth, to a wonderful mother, Mother's Day, you deserve the best, and birthday. And then the ink is polished pink. Now, like I say, I sell my used kit because, you know, when things retire, I'm a YouTuber, I can't use it again. So this one I don't have, but I tell you what, I keep them all in my little case. So when I sell this stamp set, it won't have the stamping spot, but that's all right. But I'm going to put it in my little case when I'm done with it, and I'll probably use my full size and keep the little one for when I'm using my Stamparatus, because that's great. And then I have another box for the uninked ones. I'll put a link on my description of my video, because these come from Michael's. You can't even get them on Amazon. They have the big ones, but they don't have these. These are great. And then, of course, we get some dimensionals, the mini ones. And these glue dots are fantastic. Don't throw these away. Keep them. I have a whole bunch. These are great for embellishments, like those brass butterflies. And what's great is that they hold on, and they're not as thick as a glue dot. So I totally hold that. And then we also get 3 sheets of these laser cuts with the pots and the plants. And then we get this green plant laser cut. And then here's that really pretty paper. I really like that. And then some sentiment stamps or sentiment dies and pots, and then these gold foil happies. And then next month is a stained glass one. So this is kind of really pretty. It says gorgeous stained glass looking cherry blossom. So that's next month. So I'm going to go ahead and put their 3 cards together, and then I'll come back after that and do like 6 alternatives. So I will be right back. So these are their cards. So, I mean, they're pretty simple. There's just a lot of foliage and, you know, sentiments here. This one's actually the best one. Now, the hard thing is I have to come up with alternatives. Now, they do have a few alternatives on the back, and I've seen their video, so I knew they were going to do some stenciling with the negatives from the die cuts. So I knew that was coming, and I know why, because these are going to be tough. So anyway, I will be right back with my alternatives. I'm back. So I wanted to show you really quick before we get to the alternatives. Once I use my paper pumpkin kit, I go ahead and I put them in one of these cases. Now you can get these cases through Stampin' Up! As well. If you go to the description of my video, everything that I use will be in there. So this case will be in there. You can just click on it and get it. But there are 2 stamp sets in this paper pumpkin because it's a 10-year anniversary thing. So this paper pumpkin is $10 on my Joy of Cards website. You go to Joy of Cards and then shop retired, and it'll be there along with a couple other paper pumpkin kits and all my retired stamps and all that. I haven't put up my DS paper yet, so if you're looking for a particular DS paper, let me know and I'll see if I have it. And then I also will put inside the box the three different styles of what their general instructions were for. And then anything I didn't use except for the Stampin' Spot, because I love the Stampin' Spot and I didn't have a polished pink one. And I get this box at like Michael's and it just holds them perfectly. I'll put the link to the Michael's one because it is a particular one. Amazon doesn't have this one, so that's why I don't have an Amazon link to it. But all this will be in there except for the Stampin' Spot, and it is $10. So let's do the first alternative. Here's alternative number 1. Now, I did not like this kit. I don't like leafy, branchy, kind of layer me up on a sentiment tag kind of thing. It just isn't my jam. So this was probably one of the hardest kits I've ever done to actually think of something to do, especially when you have designs like this. It's tough. So what I decided to do is make a ladder. I just cut strips and snailed them together. Now, what I did do on the ladder here, this is snailed here, but on the bottom, I put a couple of the foam adhesive strips on there. They're a little thicker than a dimensional, and they're thin, so you don't have to like mess around with cutting a dimensional in half. So I made it bigger here so it sticks out. And I put the plant here. I cut up a little bit of the envelope and put it in here. And then on the inside, I'm using Highland Heather. I know that's not one of the colors, but it seems to match better than the Orchid Oasis. So I don't know. So I did Highland Heather, polished pink, white, put their die cut in there, and that's alternative number 1. Here's alternative number 2, and it doesn't look like much. It's like, but I did something to this that was kind of cool. I have a brother scan and cut. So what I did is I took that gold happy and I traced it on white paper, and I scanned it in my brother scan and cut, and then I offset it by the smallest amount, and it made the shadow. So I made the shadow out of the envelope. I do cut up my envelopes. I think there are 3 in my used paper pumpkin kit that survived. But I just put this on dimensionals, stuck that twiggy, leafy thing that I don't like doing, put the birthday on dimensionals with a little piece of the envelope inside Highland Heather, polished pink, white, and I stamped it a little bit. But yeah, that's alternative number 2. Here's alternative number 3. And what I did is I used that small frame from Frame Florettes, and I cut it once in gold and once in basic white, and then I mounted them on foam adhesive sheets, and it gives a much better dimensional look than a dimensional does. It's like way better. So I just put them in with each other and put some of that leafy junk on there, which I don't like the leafy stuff. I just don't, it's just not my style. And then garden green, gold foil, and basic white. And this is alternative number 3. Here's alternative number 4. It's the only one that I used different card base, and this is in Highland Heather because I thought it matched better. And I just took a basic white, stamped the edges, took a little polished pink, cut it. I did use my gold foil paper, but if you use the negative from the Happy, you can just cut a strip off that and use it in here too. So if you don't have gold foil. And I bumped this up on the foam adhesive strips again because they're thin. So they're these thin strips and they fit better than, once again, trying to cut a dimensional. So I put them on the strips and then stuck their little leafy things on the end there, and then just put polished pink and white on the inside, kept it blank just to keep my options open. And this is alternative number 4. Here's alternative number 5, and what I did is I cut up that envelope and I put them in those squares and covered them up, so the squares from the bookshelf, and then I just stamped the flower from the kit. I used layering circles and mounted it on there, stamped it, and used shaded spruce, polished pink and white, stamped it on the middle. And these are all dimensionals, and this is number 5. I swear to God, number 6 is really good. And here's card number 6. I put all my energy into this card, believe it or not. So we've got some embossing going on, and I cut the window open like this, and you can see the panels on the inside. And you open it up like this. It's really cool. I really like it. And I did something kind of neat. So I took their base like this, and I took some copy paper, regular copy paper with not a lot on the back, and I turned on my light board here, because this is a light board, and I put it, and I took the paper and I cut this out 5.5 by 4.25. I laid it out there directly, and then I traced the image so I could see it with my light board. And then I cut the image out, okay? And then when you trace this, I wanted to make sure I traced it just above, or, you know, just on the outside edge of that gold, because I wanted the gold to show through. So I took it, I cut it out. Then I took another piece of basic white and I cut the image out. So basically it will look like this. Then I embossed it, okay? I took my brick and mortar and I put red, the real red ink on the top of it. Make sure the top will have the line. And I took my 3D embossing plate. So it'll be that bottom plate from your die cutter, the folder, and the embossing plate. Now, they do have embossing plates in the Stampin' Up! Catalog. They're not purple like this anymore. But if you go to the description of my video, the embossing plate will be there. So you can use the 3D embossing folder. If you don't have this plate, it won't work. So, and then I embossed it. Make sure that you're going the right direction. I thought I had it like the right direction once. And it's like, no, I had the wrong direction. So make sure it's going the right direction of the brick. So I embossed it. And then before I put it on my card, I took the gold foil. Now, gold foil is something that I find precious. So I didn't put, there's not like a big piece of gold foil being wasted here. I took my rectangle stitch frame and I cut it out. Plus, you've got this hole here. You can't have you can't have it solid in there anyway, so I took out the middle and saved the gold foil. So that's what I used the rectangle stitch frames for. And then so I put down the gold frame and then the brick and right around that window there. And even before I did all that, boy, I'm jumping ahead of myself, I cut this out first. So I just got my cutter here and I went along the lines like this has to fold open. So I did a score here and I cut here and here. And if you have it lined up on your cutter, now I know my cutter really well, so I know where things should be, but if you don't quite know where they are, score it first and then lift it up and see where that score line is. And if you're off, then, you know, adjust and then do it again. But I cut here and I cut here and I scored these. Then I put on the gold foil, then I put on the brick. And then I also snailed on the tops of those leaves to make them look like they're like trees. And then I took Give It a Whirl. I swear I have used Give It a Whirl so many times because it has so many miscellaneous pieces. But one of them is this. So I knew there was a tiny little circle there. So I used it for the knobs here. And then when I opened it up, I cut down the DS paper. Now, this DS paper is Fancy Flora. This is really, really pretty paper. And how I got the window here is I went ahead and I put the paper on without snail. I just laid it on there, folded it, and traced the window, and then used scissors and just cut it out, and then snailed it on here. And then just stamped it and put on the that tree leafy stuff. and I did do Happy Mother's Day there because I had nothing on the front. So, but that is alternative number 6. And that's all my alternatives. I hope you like them. Please like and subscribe and put on any comments you want to do. And that'll do it for me. Thanks. Bye.